Elon Musk's UFO-like aircraft has just made history by intercepting and neutralizing a Russian nuclear threat. Known for his revolutionary work with Tesla and SpaceX, Musk has now ventured into aerospace with a game-changing innovation that not only pushes the boundaries of technology, but also alters the course of geopolitical power. What is the implication of this? Is there more to this UFO aircraft that's hidden from the world? Join us as we reveal the mind-blowing capabilities of Musk's UFO aircraft that just destroyed Russian nuclear threats. In what has come as a major surprise to experts and governments around the world, Elon Musk's SpaceX has produced a piece of technology that could revolutionize warfare. Presenting the X-1 fighter jet, a plane that is out of this world in every sense of the term, meaning it looks like a UFO. This revolutionary invention has been received with joy and criticism at the same time during a period when the world is experiencing heightened tensions. Well, just what is so special about the X-1? It's a fighter jet that can travel around the globe within a few hours. It boasts hypersonic speeds of up to 4,600 miles per hour. In other words, it's faster than twice the speed of the SR-71 Blackbird, which is one of the fastest airplanes in existence. To achieve this, SpaceX has pulled off something almost unheard of. They fitted a space shuttle engine, yes, the kind used in rocket propulsion systems, into a fighter aircraft. This change in technology is simply revolutionary. However, this is not the only magic trick in the sleeve of the X-1. One of its most awesome functions is the invisibility cloak. Well, not an actual one, but it comes close. In this jet, they have applied the best technology of camouflage that enables it to look like a mere cloud in the sky. It is so realistic that when the Pentagon first noticed it, they mobilized fighter jets, thinking that it was an extraterrestrial flying saucer. That's how stealthy it is. This revolutionary element could change the approach to warfare, furthering the almost impossibility of enemies tracking or locating the X-1 during operations. Now, you might think a jet like this must burn through fuel very fast. But here's the kicker. What is quite stunning is just how economical the X-1 is. Compared to current military aircraft, it uses 30% less fuel, which means it can travel farther and remain aloft for longer periods. Think of missions that used to require several stops for refueling. These could now be accomplished in one go. This not only makes the X-1 faster, but also smarter and more sustainable. A real advancement in aerospace engineering. Let's explore the weapon system of this technological marvel, which sounds like it has been pulled out of a science fiction movie. The X-1 is fitted with a microwave weapon. The weapon can either burn through enemy electronics or, at a lower setting, produce a sensation so repulsive that soldiers are forced to withdraw. Some people have even said it feels like having burning skin, but without actual damage. Consider the strategic advantage this provides when it comes to disabling enemies without harming your own forces. The X-1 not only takes the lead on the battlefield, but also soars to heights far beyond those of other jets. While commercial airliners maintain altitudes of approximately 35,000 feet, and most fighter jets do not exceed 50,000 feet, the X-1 can reach altitudes of up to 105,000 feet. That is so high, it is almost touching the heavens. This capability makes it invulnerable to surveillance and places it beyond the range of most air defense systems. From reconnaissance missions to climate surveillance, or even paving the way for space tourism, the X-1 has extraordinary potential. Of course, nothing this great has come easy, and the journey to making this has been no different. They have heard that there is tension arising between Elon Musk and the United States military regarding the proper use of the X-1. While Musk sees it as a device to avoid wars and promote human progress, some military officers are skeptical. They worry about what might happen if this kind of technology falls into the hands of someone with malicious intent. This is the battle between the creativity of the product and security, and it is one that is only going to intensify as more people become aware of the X-1. The X-1 is in an entirely different class from today's most advanced fighter jets, such as the F-35 Lightning II or F-22 Raptor. For example, the F-35 can reach speeds of about 1,200 miles per hour fast, yes, but not as fast as the X-1's 4,600 miles per hour. If the F-35 were ever to get within range, the X-1 would have already accomplished its task and be on its way back. But here's the thing. The X-1 isn't merely about establishing military superiority. Its technology can be applied in many fields and has the potential to transform industries that are not even related to the military. Imagine supersonic passenger aircraft that would enable humans to complete your journey from New York to Tokyo in less than 2 hours. Or consider the microwave technology, which after some modification could revolutionize the medical field, the energy sector, or even telecommunications. It is almost impossible to exhaust the list of opportunities out there, and they are nearer than one might think. Nevertheless, not everyone is happy about this development. Some people believe that this type of power could lead to a new arms race, forcing nations to develop their own similar weapons or defense systems. Others think the X-1 could actually serve as a protector, helping to avoid conflict altogether because any potential attacker would know they wouldn't stand a chance. Whatever your perspective, one thing is certain. The X-1 is not just a fighter aircraft, it is the future of air, space, and technology. Elon Musk's X-1 isn't just a jet, it's a statement. It has challenged the boundaries of what many believed was achievable in the airspace. Whether it leads to a redistribution of power among nations, a reorientation of air travel, or the creation of opportunities for new technologies, the X-1 is ready to make history. And as the world watches with a mix of awe and trepidation, one thing is clear. The X-1 has set the pace, and there is no going back. But it's not just Elon's jet that's shaking the foundations of global security. Musk's satellite network, Starlink, has also become a pivotal asset in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, disrupting traditional power dynamics. While Starlink has been lauded for its role in keeping Ukraine connected, ensuring military coordination, and enabling civil communication, it has also drawn the ire of critics who worry about its potential use in escalating tensions. Musk's involvement in the geopolitical situation, particularly rumors of private discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin, shows how his influence extends beyond business innovation. His technology is now part of the conversation about nuclear threats and international conflict. This situation spans high technology, global politics, and ethical issues, raising important questions about whether private companies are capable of influencing the direction of conflicts in ways they were never originally designed for. When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, one of the initial strategies was to target Ukraine's internet. Communication infrastructure was attacked in an attempt to deny both civilians and military forces reliable means of accessing information. The goal was clear: to isolate Ukraine and complicate its efforts to organize a defense. This is where Elon Musk stepped in. Realizing the dire situation, Musk and his company, SpaceX, responded by sending thousands of Starlink satellite terminals to Ukraine. These terminals connect to a network of satellites orbiting the Earth, providing fast internet services even where physical infrastructure has been destroyed. The shift was revolutionary. For Ukrainian civilians, it restored access to information and allowed communication to continue despite the ongoing conflict. For the military, it offered a secure and reliable way to communicate even under intense shelling. However, it didn't take long for this intervention to have its repercussions. While Starlink was assisting Ukraine in maintaining an internet connection, it also angered the Kremlin. For Russian officials, Musk's actions were seen as a direct challenge to their efforts. Soon, threats began to emerge. The first public indication of tension came from Dmitry Rogozin, the former head of Russia's space agency, Roscosmos. Rogozin accused Musk of assisting Ukraine's military by supplying communication devices, and claimed without evidence that Starlink terminals had been supplied to Ukrainian forces by the U.S. Department of Defense. His accusations quickly escalated into threats against Musk, with Rogozin suggesting that Musk's actions might put his life at risk. In response, Musk posted a message on Twitter, which was seen by millions of followers, saying that if he dies under mysterious circumstances, it has been nice knowing everyone. This wasn't the first time Musk faced such threats. In the following months, other Russian officials joined in, with some even suggesting the use of anti-satellite weapons to disable Musk's satellites. Some went as far as to call the supply of Starlink to Ukraine an act of aggression that demanded retaliation. The situation grew even more tense when reports emerged that Russia had started targeting Starlink terminals on the ground. Using Su-34 fighter jets, kamikaze drones, and rocket systems, Russia attempted to disable Starlink. Despite these efforts, the satellite network remained operational, continuing to provide a crucial lifeline for Ukraine's military and civilians. However, Musk soon found himself caught in a dilemma about how far Starlink should go in supporting Ukraine's military efforts. Some people using the technology for defensive purposes began to worry that it might also be used for aggressive actions, particularly in sensitive areas like Crimea, which Russia considers off-limits. In response, Musk placed conditions on the use of Starlink in Ukraine. For instance, he limited its use to communications related to guiding defensive operations rather than offensive attacks. This decision sparked widespread debate, with some accusing Musk of withholding critical technology, arguing that Ukraine needed all available resources to defend itself. Others praised his caution, suggesting that pushing too far could escalate the situation to catastrophic levels. Underlying all of these decisions was the fear of nuclear escalation. By the end of 2022, reports surfaced claiming that American intelligence estimated a high probability that Russia could resort to nuclear weapons in Ukraine. The New York Times reported that top Russian commanders were considering the use of nuclear weapons, raising alarms in the White House under President Biden. Experts such as Professor Ron Garance of Johns Hopkins University have commented on Musk's actions in this context. Garance argued that Musk intentionally slowed down the use of Starlink to avoid provoking a nuclear response from Russia. This level of prudence mirrors similar policies adopted by the US, which barred Ukraine from using American-supplied weapons to strike deep into Russian territory. The logic behind these actions was clear: to prevent Putin from escalating the conflict to a more dangerous level, either conventionally or with nuclear weapons. In this light, Musk's efforts to restrict the use of his technology fit into broader international efforts to prevent the conflict from spiraling further. However, with Russia holding the world's largest stockpile of nuclear warheads, the recent appearance of a new document from Moscow has reignited concerns about nuclear escalation, raising the global debate over nuclear war once again. At first glance, this document, which is now 4 years old, does not seem very dramatic. This in part can be attributed to the fact that it bears the rather mundane title, Basic Principles of State Policy on Nuclear Deterrence. But the latest revisions, signed this week by President Vladimir Putin, are causing concern all over the world. The updates decrease the readiness level that can be used in response to a non-nuclear strike by Russia. In other words, it has become easier for Moscow to reach for its atomic suitcases. And that is a scary thought, especially in the backdrop of a growing tension in Ukraine. This new nuclear policy can be said to serve as Russia's guide on when and how it may employ its nuclear weapons. Its previous version, that was signed by Putin in 2020, was already alarming. But this new update is another level higher than that. Under the new rules, Putin can greenlight a nuclear strike not only if Russia is targeted with a nuclear attack, but also if Russia or its critical infrastructure is threatened with a conventional attack, such as a missile strike on its territory or on its sovereignty. For instance, Russia said that Ukraine targeted its Bryansk region with the help of American-supplied long-range missile systems on Monday. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov did not lose any time in reminding that such attacks could now be considered as a reason for a nuclear strike under the new doctrine. All these changes were not a result of a sudden decision. The timing is crucial. Only 2 days before Putin put his signature on this enhanced doctrine, the USA agreed to let Ukraine employ ATACMS missiles, capable of hitting goals in Russia's territory. Until recently, President Joe Biden had been reluctant to provide Ukraine with these weapons, fearing this could provoke Russia. Well, it appears that all those concerns were well warranted today. This kind of attack the Kremlin is presenting as an immediate menace, and they are not shy about ratcheting up the nuclear rhetoric. The updated document provides information about such circumstances that may result in nuclear counteraction. For Russia, nuclear weapons are used as a shield, as well as the means of protection. Despite an acknowledgement of the fact that such weapons would be employed in cases of necessity, the language used in the document is lukewarm. Moscow can contemplate the use of nuclear weapons in case of any threat to the Russian state or its territories, even with conventional attack. The doctrine emphasizes time and again that nuclear weapons are used to deter conflicts, protect sovereignty, and ensure that if anyone attempts an attack on Russia, they will be retaliated in full measure. However, the language of the treaty, as Savaznia as an instrument of prevention, allows Russia considerable freedom if they decide to use them. The Russian president and other Russian officials have used nuclear rhetoric to threaten the West since the Ukraine war started in 2022. These threats have not deterred Kiev's backers from supplying billions of dollars worth of sophisticated weapons to Ukraine, but the Kremlin's new nuclear doctrine seems to have been penned in reaction to that support. Before the doctrine was revised, Putin threatened NATO and the US against letting Ukraine deploy the longer-range missiles to hit Russia. He said that the West may be dragged into the war since such actions are already threatening to equal Russia and NATO. This was also supported by Dmitry Peskov in the recent press conference. He added that any Ukrainian attack on Russia's territory, especially with the help of weapons supplied by the West, may be viewed as an assault by a nuclear state and could trigger a nuclear response. While the Kremlin wants to keep the West guessing, the doctrine sends a clear message. Russia is ready to increase tension if it considers that its security is really threatened. This new doctrine not only increases the risk for Ukraine and its allies, but also shows how easily the world is getting closer to a nuclear mistake. As Tatiana Stanovia, the Carnegie Russia and Eurasia Center's expert, noted, such changes are rather substantial. She said this is the first time Russia has directly linked the use of nuclear threats to conventional raids using Western weapons. In other words, Moscow is saying loud and clear that it wants to consider nuclear responses to perceived aggression. With this kind of setting, technology and private enterprises have taken an extra dimension to the conflict. For instance, Elon Musk's Starlink satellite broadband communication technology has been used to ensure internet connection in Ukraine during the war. This has made it possible for military coordination and civil interaction to continue. Nonetheless, Musk has attempted to restrict Starlink's usage for malicious military actions, probably to exacerbate the situation. However, the participation of advanced technology in the conflict and the use of it in the conflict can also be considered as a threat by Russia. Moscow might perceive any kind of technological or logistical assistance as an act of increasing tensions, which in turn increases the chances of a counterattack. It is important to remind us that we are living in a dangerous world by the appearance of the new version of Russia's nuclear doctrine. It makes nuclear action more probable, links conventional attacks to possible nuclear retaliation, and keeps the world uncertain about what follows next. Putin's doctrine describes nuclear weapons as a means of last resort, but since the text of the doctrine is rather ambiguous, one cannot understand how far Putin is ready to go. This then means that as the conflict in Ukraine persists, the probability of provocation or actual provocation increases. For now, the world waits for an end to the conflict and for diplomacy to triumph over destruction. But now nuclear weapons have been brought back into play in such a fragile manner, the game is, quite literally, as high stakes as it can be. After years of anticipation, the future of aviation is finally here, and it's set to dominate the skies. Faster, smarter, and with unmatched stealth, the hypersonic SR-72 is packed with advanced capabilities that outmatch its predecessor, the formidable SR-71. With President Donald Trump leading the charge, could this advanced aircraft help restore peace in the Middle East, particularly between Israel and Hamas? What makes it better than its predecessors? Join us as we explore the unrivaled features and capabilities of the SR-72 as it takes the sky with force. When the SR-71 Blackbird retired in 1988, it left the U.S. Air Force without a unique tool for gathering intelligence and surveillance. While most advanced jets and drones focus on stealth to avoid detection, experts started to believe that speed might be a better way to get through heavily defended airspace. Moving faster than anyone could respond seemed like the next big step. This need led to the development of the son of Blackbird, also known as the SR-72. This aircraft is a hypersonic drone concept developed by Lockheed Martin to succeed the iconic SR-71 Blackbird. Announced in 2013, this technological marvel focuses on intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, with potential use in peacekeeping efforts, including in the Middle East. In 2018, Lockheed Martin suggested that a test version of the SR-72 might take flight by 2025, with full operational capability anticipated in the 2030s. One very important aspect is that this aircraft could play a very important role in global security under President-elect Donald Trump's administration. How? Before we delve into the possibilities that this aircraft has presented the world with, let's explore its capabilities and history of development. In November 2013, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division revealed their plans for the SR-72 in Aviation Week and Space Technology *. The announcement created such a buzz that it crashed the magazine's servers. Lockheed outlined a bold vision, a 60-foot-long test aircraft, roughly the size of an F-22 Raptor, that could reach Mach 6 for a few minutes. The full-scale SR-72 would be over 100 feet long, match the SR-71's impressive range, and potentially enter service by 2030. However, despite these ambitious plans, funding for the demonstrator or its hypersonic engine wasn't secured at the time. The Air Force was intrigued because hypersonic speeds would give enemies barely any time to react, a critical advantage against future air defenses. General Mark Welsh, the Air Force Chief of Staff, acknowledged the appeal, but admitted that resources for such an advanced project were lacking. Instead, the Air Force decided to focus on the RQ-180 stealth drone, a more affordable option for gathering intelligence in dangerous airspace. In December 2014, NASA gave Lockheed Martin a contract worth about $800,000 to explore the possibility of creating the SR-72's propulsion system using existing turbine engine technology. The study focused on designing a turbine-based combined cycle system by combining current turbine engines with a dual-mode ramjet that could ignite at very low speeds. NASA had previously funded a similar study that suggested speeds up to Mach 7 could be possible by combining turbine and ramjet technologies. The challenge with hypersonic propulsion has always been bridging the gap between turbojets, which max out at Mach 2.2, and scramjets, which only work at Mach 4 and above. Typical turbine engines can't go fast enough for scramjets to take over. The NASA study explored whether a faster turbine engine or a scramjet capable of working at lower speeds could solve this issue. DARPA's HTV-3X had already shown that low-speed ramjets could operate under Mach 3. Lockheed and NASA considered modifying existing turbofan engines used in jet fighters to make this work. If the study proved successful, NASA planned to fund a flight research vehicle to test the DMRJ system. Meanwhile, Aerojet Rocketdyne also received a $1.1 million contract from NASA in December 2014 to focus on the transition between propulsion modes. The two companies worked together on the TBCC system. They aim to start developing an SR-72 hypersonic demonstrator in 2018, with its first flight targeted for 2023. By May 2015, the SR-72 was envisioned as a platform for both surveillance and strikes. However, no payloads were specified, likely because existing technology couldn't meet the demands of flying at Mach 6 and 80,000 feet. Aircraft at such speeds and altitudes would need entirely new sensors and weapons to be effective. In March 2016, Lockheed Martin's CEO, Marillyn Hewson, announced that the company was close to a breakthrough that would enable the SR-72 to reach Mach 6. She also stated that a hypersonic demonstrator aircraft, about the size of an F-22 stealth fighter, could be built for under $1 billion, a major step forward for hypersonic technology. In building this exceptional aircraft, Lockheed Martin teamed up with Aerojet Rocketdyne in 2006 to create an engine that could handle these incredible speeds. After an earlier project, the HTV-3X was canceled in 2008. The companies focused on using scramjet technology for the SR-72. The plan was to make a system that worked at all speeds, from slow takeoffs to extreme hypersonic flight. Different engines were designed for specific speeds. Turbojets work best at lower speeds, ramjets perform well at around Mach 3, and scramjets shine at super high speeds like Mach 6. The SR-72 would combine all of these into one system, switching from a regular turbine engine for slower speeds to a scramjet for higher speeds. Both engines would use the same parts for air intake and exhaust, but handle airflow in separate ways. This breakthrough design could make the SR-72 the fastest and most advanced aircraft ever built, ready to handle the challenges of future missions. Flying at speeds of Mach 5 and above is no small feat. At these speeds, the heat generated by friction with the air becomes so intense, it can melt regular metal frames. To solve this problem, engineers plan to use advanced materials like carbon composites, ceramics, and metal blends. similar to those used in intercontinental missiles and the space shuttle. Lockheed Martin revealed plans for the SR-72, aiming for development to start in the early 2020s and targeting speeds even beyond the initial Mach 6. Rob Weiss, the company's executive vice president, confidently stated that hypersonics had long been 2 years away, but the technology had finally matured. Partnering with DARPA and other agencies, Lockheed was determined to deliver this groundbreaking capability to the military. Not long after, Vice President Jack O'Banion highlighted how modern advancements had made the SR-72 possible. Innovations like 3D printing and advanced computer modeling allowed for the creation of intricate features, such as an embedded cooling system in the engine. These tools, he explained, simply didn't exist a few years earlier, emphasizing the rapid progress that had opened the door to hypersonic possibilities. Amidst the buzz, Lockheed's Executive Vice President of Aeronautics, Orlando Carvalho, addressed speculations surrounding the SR-72. While the aircraft wasn't yet built, he emphasized how hypersonic research was already driving weapons development. He hinted at an exciting future where this progress could lead to a reusable hypersonic vehicle, what many might have once referred to as a Lycan SR-72. As momentum grew, Lockheed Martin announced plans for a prototype to take flight by 2025, equipped to fire hypersonic missiles. Looking ahead, the SR-72 was envisioned to reshape aviation, with potential deployment in the 2030s, setting the stage for a new era of speed and innovation. As excitement regarding this aircraft continues to grow, both facts and falsehoods are flooding the internet. This raises the question, which claims about the SR-72 are true and which need to be debunked? Beginning with its popular name, though many people mistakenly refer to the secretive SR-72 Project Dark Star, this is not accurate. The aircraft doesn't have an official nickname, but it's often referred to as the Son of Blackbird, paying homage to its predecessor, the SR-71 Blackbird. When it comes to naming military aircraft, the process typically combines history, practical needs, and military or manufacturer rules. A nickname like Eagle for the F-15 is decided once the Air Force officially adopts the aircraft. Dark Star is also the name of a fictional supersonic jet in the 2022 film Asterisk Top Gun, Maverick Asterisk. However, while the jet in the movie is made up, Lockheed Martin did create a real-life mock-up of it for the film. This prop was 69.5 feet long, with a 5.5-foot wingspan, and featured real Lockheed Martin prototypes in the cockpit, including the flight stick and instruments. The mock-up was mainly used for the film's ground scenes, and it helped the visual effects team create realistic flying sequences. For the aerial shots, an F-18 was filmed during takeoff and flight, but the Dark Star jet was digitally added later to complete the scene. Since 1988, Lockheed Martin has been trying to create faster replacements for the SR-71, but hasn't been successful yet. Their advanced development programs, known as Skunk Works, developed the Hypersonic Technology Vehicle 2, or HTV-2, as part of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency Falcon project. The HTV-2 was designed to gather information on things like aerodynamics, guidance, and how the vehicle handles heat at high speeds. It first flew in April 2010 and again in August 2011, reaching speeds of Mach 20. The lessons learned from the HTV-2 are helping shape the design of the SR-72. It was an uncrewed aircraft built to fly through the atmosphere at super-fast speeds. It could travel from New York City to Los Angeles in under 12 minutes. The SR-72 is set to be an advanced hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft designed with advanced technology for missions similar to those of the legendary SR-71. It will be able to strike targets anywhere on Earth in under an hour, especially if it's armed with hypersonic missiles, like the high-speed strike weapon from Lockheed Martin. Its incredible speed will allow it to easily break through heavily protected airspace. At least that's the plan. The SR-72 is part of the U.S. Air Force's long-term hypersonic strategy, with potential for both reconnaissance and combat operations. One of the most exciting features of the SR-72 is its engines. It will use two different types of engines to handle both takeoff and high-speed flight. Traditional engines like turbojets and turbofans work well for takeoff and landing, but can't handle the extreme speeds the SR-72 needs. So the aircraft will use a turbine engine to power up to Mach 3, after which a dual-mode ramjet will take over to push it to hypersonic speeds. To make this work, Lockheed Martin is teaming up with Aerojet Rocketdyne to create a special turbine-based combined cycle propulsion system. This technology will help the SR-72 reach an exceptional cruising speed, which is double the speed of the SR-71. Early tests of the TBCC system have already been conducted, combining a small turbine engine with a dual-mode ramjet and scramjet to prove the concept. Also, the SR-72 hypersonic aircraft is expected to outdo its predecessors, like the X-43 and X-51 Wave Rider, which were mostly used to test scramjet technology. Unlike those experimental crafts, the SR-72 is being designed with a broader range of capabilities. It will feature advanced materials such as carbon-carbon composites, which can handle much higher temperatures than the titanium skin of the SR-71, especially when flying at extreme speeds. One of the biggest challenges for the SR-72 is managing the intense heat created by skin friction at such speed. To handle this, there are two possible solutions. One is using cold structures, similar to the heat-resistant tiles on the space shuttle, and the other is using warmer materials like titanium. The SR-72 is also likely to be built for incredible speed, stealth, and versatility. It could have advanced avionics and possibly even AI systems to assist in autonomous operations, something earlier hypersonic aircraft didn't have. However, stealth might not be as effective for the SR-72. The radar-absorbing materials might not hold up under the extreme heat, and the jet's large infrared signature could make it harder to hide. Plus, its high-speed wake could still be detected by radar, much like the SR-71. But with its speed and ability to quickly escape or outrun most non-hypersonic missiles, these issues may not be a major concern in practice. The SR-72, like its predecessor, the SR-71, might rely on a specialized fuel like JP-7. However, Lockheed is reportedly exploring the use of regular jet fuels to simplify logistics and cut costs. What makes the JP-7 special? The JP-7 was a unique fuel created specifically for the SR-71 Blackbird. It had special features to meet the demands of high-speed, high-altitude missions. One of its standout qualities was its high flash point, making it much less flammable at lower temperatures, a key safety factor during the SR-71's intense flights. Beyond fueling the engines, the fuel also acted as a coolant for the aircraft's systems, ensuring stability and performance under extreme conditions. Its advanced formulation played a big role in the SR-71's groundbreaking speed and altitude capabilities. Now, to the most important aspect, how would the SR-72 restore peace in the Middle East? And what part does the new president-elect have to play in this event? Donald Trump's presidency could have significant implications for global conflicts and European security. During his first term, he came close to leading the U.S. into a direct war with Iran, and his unpredictable nature continues to challenge Washington's closest allies, especially fellow NATO members. Trump has stated he would end Russia's war in Ukraine if re-elected, but experts warn that a rushed peace deal might leave Kyiv weaker and put European security at even greater risk. Another critical area of concern is the growing conflict between Iran and Israel. While Trump showed restraint toward Tehran during his first term, this approach might change, potentially increasing the chances of direct confrontation if he returns to the White House. China poses a massive long-term challenge, while North Korea remains a growing concern, especially after Trump's earlier attempt to charm its leader during his first term as president fell flat. Before Trump's recent victory, both friendly and hostile nations were already strategizing about how his return to the White House might affect their national interests and major global security issues. Trump's unpredictable nature has always been a wild card, not just for America's adversaries, but also for its closest allies, particularly NATO members. He has openly expressed frustration about how the U.S. has spent decades footing the bill for Europe's security. During his first term, Trump even threatened to pull the U.S. out of NATO, a move that would have likely ended the alliance. However, his tough stance did push allies to increase their defense budgets and invest more in their militaries. Years of underfunding have left European NATO allies and Canada far from being strong, independent military powers. Recovery is happening, but it's too slow for them to stand alone anytime soon. Trump's recent victory will have immediate effects on Ukraine and Iran. During his campaign, he repeatedly promised to end the Ukraine war quickly, but never explained how or what that peace would involve. He has criticized Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, calling him the greatest salesman on earth, for securing billions of dollars in U.S. weapons and aid. Yet that support, combined with Ukraine's resilience, is the key reason Ukraine has held off nearly 1,000 days of Russian aggression. Without U.S. military aid, Ukraine would lack the firepower to resist, even with help from other allies. In contrast, Vice President Kamala Harris stressed that U.S. support for Ukraine is vital for both American and Western interests, aligning with NATO's stance. While Trump's presidency will likely change U.S. support for Ukraine, it doesn't mean a total surrender. As a self-proclaimed deal-maker, Trump wouldn't want to bear the blame for Ukraine falling completely under Putin's control. Circling back to the growing impact of the United States Air Force in the world, this country is also developing another revolutionary aircraft that the world is anticipating. This aircraft is none other than the NGAD. The NGAD, also known as the Next Generation Air Dominance, its program aims to revolutionize air combat, though many details are still top secret. This new fighter jet isn't just about unmatched speed and agility. It's designed as a family of systems, combining manned jets with drones, advanced sensors, and cutting-edge AI to dominate the skies. Its primary mission? Achieve air superiority and outmatch rivals like China's J-20 and J-31 or Russia's Su-57. Unlike past designs, NGAD isn't just replacing the F-22, it's redefining what a fighter jet can be. It could feature combinations of piloted and unmanned systems, advanced cyber tools, and groundbreaking electronic capabilities. These concepts step far beyond traditional fighter designs, aiming to give the U.S. an edge in future conflicts. Its key technologies include next-level AI, long-range sensors, and precision weapons, allowing the aircraft to spot and destroy targets from far away while staying undetected. It will also seamlessly link with command centers, drones, ground vehicles, and satellites, ensuring lightning-fast data sharing. Advanced materials and possibly even self-repairing features are being explored to make these jets even more resilient. The push for NGAD is partly fueled by global competition. Although rivals like China and Russia have fewer fifth-generation aircraft, their new jets pose enough of a threat to drive U.S. innovation. Since 2015, Congress has invested over $4.2 billion into NGAD, aiming for operational service by 2030. The Pentagon has kept details under wraps, but it's clear this program represents a bold leap in air combat technology. The Air Force is actively developing 4 key areas for NGAD: new propulsion systems for greater power and cooling, uncrewed systems to assist the fighter, advanced composite materials for lower-cost manufacturing, and sensors like radar and infrared tech. Analysts predict these drones could gather intelligence, handle electronic warfare, or carry extra weapons. The funding for NGAD reflects its importance. For fiscal year 2023, $1.6 billion was requested, with a projected $11.7 billion planned between 2024 and 2027. Each jet could cost hundreds of millions of dollars, highlighting its cutting-edge nature. Instead of awarding a single contract for design, production, and maintenance, NGAD splits these into separate deals. This opens opportunities for a wider range of companies, potentially including non-traditional players in military aviation like Textron and General Atomics. NGAD isn't just about building a better fighter, it's about changing how the U.S. prepares for the future of air combat. By combining advanced technologies, creative strategies, and innovative partnerships, this program could ensure U.S. dominance in the skies for decades. The world stops in shock as Elon Musk makes a shocking announcement. This tech mogul has hinted at a plan to reveal the X-44 Manta, a machine widely believed to be able to manipulate the laws of physics, as being either the greatest advancement in space exploration or the biggest bluff of the century. Could this futuristic vehicle be the game-changer the world has been waiting for? And what secrets does Musk's team hold that other aerospace giants don't? Join us as we uncover the groundbreaking technology as Elon Musk unveils the latest X-44 Manta ready to battle that breaks the laws of physics. The X-44 Manta, also known as multi-axis no-tail aircraft, was an experimental aircraft based on the F-22 Raptor, but structurally a smaller aircraft. It was planned to bring further improvements in stealth and maneuverability with subsequent terrific thrust vectors of engines. This arrangement let the X-44 make more rapid turns than many other attack craft with horizontal stabilizers of the fighter aircraft class, making the X-44 a more difficult radar target and possessing more distinctive flight characteristics. Although this aircraft project could probably be envisaged in the future, the project could, however, not make it to production levels as the project was halted in the year 2000 by Lockheed Martin and NASA before any flight tests could be conducted. Most of the recently stated claims indicate that the powers demonstrated by the X-44 could bring serious jeopardies resulting in violations of the laws of physics. To some extent, this is overstating the case, but the thrust vectoring and the absence of a tail would have given the design a sizable boost in agility and stealth, which may have even put it out of reach of the F-2. But the technology in X-44 was mostly developmental, and the problems like lack of a tail meant piloting can be hard, and it was not safe for combat. Today, some of the X-44 concepts, mainly stealth and maneuverability notions, are being used in the next-generation air dominance, also known as the NG-8AD, the U.S. Air Force's long-term vision program for aerial supremacy. Therefore, although X-44 Manta as an aircraft never took place, its design and development principles continue to be used in today's present and ongoing projects. With this information, how does the concept of the X-44 Manta align with Elon Musk's future vision for aviation, particularly his advocacy for AI-driven, unmanned drones? And to what extent could Musk's goals benefit from the advanced technologies initially explored in the X-44 project? Musk has always been absolutely convinced that the key to the air supremacy of the future belongs to the purely unmanned machines that possess their own autonomy. This conviction is true, as he envisioned that the future of aviation is unmanned planes that replace the conventional manned fighter jets. During a key Air Force affair, he said that the fighter jet era has passed, which proves his strong belief in utilizing artificial intelligence and autonomous systems in the U.S. military aviation. Accordingly to the above vision, Musk's company SpaceX is leading the manifestation of innovative rockets and spaceships. These advancements do not only try to make space travel more efficient, but also seek to set the stage for future big uses of AI in aerospace that focus on automation. This focus on automation could change the way air combat was done, from the use of human pilots to the use of automated systems that were capable of making decisions in real time. Also, the X-44 Manta was built as a concept by Lockheed Martin. However, ideas of maneuverability and unconventional design are aligned with Musk's vision of the future of aerial combat. The design of the X-44 is characterized by high parameters of aerodynamics and maneuverability, which is important for the new generation of air combat vehicles, for the creation of which Musk is now heading. Over time, the claims made by Musk regarding AI and automation can alter not only the intended military aviation, but the majority of aerial missions across the future landscape. What were the primary goals and envisioned applications behind the U.S. Air Force in the development of the X-44 Manta project? And how did they plan for it to impact the future of air combat and stealth technology? This innovative project was specifically designed to extend the stealth concept and also the control and mobility of modern military airplanes by eradicating the vertical tail structures. Unlike other kinds of jets that use vertical and horizontal stabilizers for direction control and yaw in a left-to-right motion and pitch in an upward and downward motion, the X-44 Manta employed thrust vectoring engines to perform such action. Thrust vectoring technology usually employs the use of gears that allow aircraft to control exhaust gas flow within a certain given direction. This makes the plane maneuver as is then for a rapid change of direction without the use of stabilizing wings that are commonly used on airplanes. In the case of the X-44 Manta, thrust vectoring engines would have assumed the task of stabilizing the plane, leaving the space for a sleeker, more aerodynamic, tailless plane body. It not only lowered the aircraft's radar cross-section, making it better able to avoid detection from enemy radar installations, but also permitted greater maneuverability in situations when rapid changes of direction may times be of the essence. There is no tail, which implies a smaller number of structures in the X-44. Thanks to that, radar echo was reduced, making the stealth plane invisible to enemy systems. Some of the thrust vectoring capabilities are already incorporated in the F-22 Raptor, from which the X-44 was developed. Nonetheless, unlike the Raptor, the X-44 Manta intended to implement thrust vectoring for handling all directional controls as an evolutionary break from convention and an indication of the technological features seen in neo-decoupage principal jets. They also removed tail, which eases the creation of a sleek, futuristic body, which when combined with the aircraft's highly progressive control systems, makes the X-44 a concept in the history of experimental aircraft and a beacon for subsequent studies in stealth and maneuverability. Did the X-44 Manta project reach the flight testing stage? And if not, what stages of development and simulation were completed before the project was discontinued? The X-44 Manta project, as unique and theoretically sound as it was cut in 2000. A major issue was that the budget in the late 1990s and early 2000s was invested in projects with significantly greater strategic relevance, like F-22 Raptor and other programs meeting new and developing defense requirements. Because the X-44 Manta used complicated and experimental structural and control implementations to overcome the absence of conventional control surfaces, bringing the creation of the airplane to a flight-capable prototype would have cost and taken longer money and time. Thrust vectoring engines alone would not have produced robust flight stability, which could have required new software and control platforms in any event. Realizing these challenges, the Air Force and Lockheed Martin decided that more resources could be better spent on other projects in this concept of a powerfully innovative aircraft. The other important factors that also contributed to the changes in planning and programming in the Air Force have more to do with the internal strategic orientations of the Air Force itself. During that time, the interest shifted to factors such as stealth technology and the creation of UAVs that would minimize the pilot danger and enhance the working time. The mechanics with no tail structure demonstrated increased maneuverability and low strike rate on the radar screen. The X-44 was high-risk, high-return that failed to meet the requirements consistent with the near-future utilization by the Air Force. The vast challenges that embody the quest of producing a fully functional, tailless, and highly maneuverable fighter was considered as a long-term project, as proponents marketed UAVs as a viable and more practical solution for future warfare. Thus, while the X-44 Manta offered visions of the next-generation fighter designs, it was considered too expensive and too complicated to be developed in the near future. However, its conceptual developments helped to enrich the overall knowledge about aerospace technology, affected some subsequent designs, and could be considered as a precursor of future projects that might revisit such thinking. Knowing that the tail of the Manta was removed from the mechanical structure of the plane, how did the X-44 Manta's unique tailless design utilize advanced thrust vectoring technology to achieve maneuverability? And what were the anticipated advantages and challenges of operating without a traditional tail structure? The X-44 Manta concept is to provide radical means of aircraft control by active thrust vectoring that would allow the plane to roll and pitch without any necessity of vertical or horizontal stabilizers, which are usually extremely important for aircraft stability. This approach implied that the control surfaces, which are a part of the inconveniences of traditional jets, could be avoided while shifting course and performing high turning motions by using engine thrust. They provided greater ease and get to allow the aircraft an extremely high degree of maneuverability important in the heat of battle where they would be deployed. This development in thrust vectoring was particularly critical in the X-44 Manta, whose stealth design did not include tails, but offered a host of stability issues. In conventional aircraft, it needs to be stated that stabilizers are crucial to control and offer balance against the getting force that is unfavorable to the aircraft. Yet in the case of the Manta, the absence of a tail was a weakness, and the spheroid relied solely for the thrust vectoring to balance these forces. The engine's thrust could be turned in any direction and still keep the body of the aircraft steady while flying, whether sharp turns and high-speed turns or yaw movements. The Manta was further devoid of the tail and thus also had a smaller frontal radar profile than its parent, making it harder for hostile radar scopes to pick out amongst incoming targets. Thus, the advantages of using thrust vectoring included better maneuverability and stealth. One of the main issues with this technology, out of all the variables that affect processor control, the main focus was to maintain stability in control software, since small mistakes can result in instability. Therefore, the X-44 Manta design required leading-edge flight control systems that could be changed as quickly as possible. While the X-44 never advanced past the design proposal phase, the aspect of its design that employed thrust vectoring has either been carried over to later generations of aircraft or inspired modifications previously unseen in such designs as stealth fighters that now boast thrust vectoring engines. In what specific ways has the technological innovation from the X-44 Manta, particularly its tailless design and thrust vectoring capability, contributed to or influenced the design principles of modern next-generation aircraft? Throughout the NGAD program of developing advanced sixth-generation fighter aircrafts, the design concept of X-44 Manta has played a major role. Borrowing from the X-44's thrust vectoring and tailless lessons, NGAD seeks to create aircraft that will operate beyond the capabilities of the present fifth-generation aircraft, the F-22 and F-35. A key issue for the construction of NGAD lies in maneuverability. The next is stealth capability, which has not retreated into the background despite the emphasis on maneuverability. Influenced by the tailless X-44, NGAD plans to minimize the radar signature of future fighter aircraft. The easier it is to achieve this, the harder it will be for the enemy radar to lock on them. Through the removal of vertical stabilizers, which otherwise provide information to radars, these concepts offer the best stealth features, which would enhance survivability amidst elevated airspace threats. It is also because of the fact that these designs introduced with aircraft models like the X-44 are also tailless, making aircraft more stealthy, an important element in present-day warfare. Now, moreover, NGAD is reportedly exploring the possibility of adopting the intelligent robotic systems and parts of fully automated flight control, which complements Musk's idea of future air engagements, including UAVs and artificial control aircraft fighters. This potential autonomy implies that NGAD fighters can combine into smart and fast aircraft that might respond to threat rapidly without risking lives of pilots. A purpose that aligns with the objectives of agility and stealth that inspired the X-44 Manta. What were the main financial, technical, and strategic reasons that led to the eventual cancellation of the X-44 Manta project? And how did these factors reflect the broader challenges of experimental aircraft development at the time? Consequently, the funding for the X-44 Manta project was terminated because refinement of stable, tailless flight was costly and difficult to accomplish. The elimination of the tail structure brought a number of aerodynamics and stability of flight and control issues, making development of the aircraft more complex that demanded testing and job-specific software and elaborate control systems in order to maintain steadiness of flight. This required significant work on the aircraft's engineering and made it considerably more expensive to develop since it depended on a thrust vectoring system for its stability and maneuverability, whereas most other designs at the time feature stabilizers. For sharp submission to maneuverability when flying without a tail, enormous amounts of capital and resources would have been needed to come up with a prototype plane. Thus, there were other engineering complexities, not to mention the operational requirements placed on the pilots in the context of the project. To fully control a tailless aircraft, massive training would have been necessary due to the new dynamics that accompany thrust vectoring with no tail. They would have to wash their hands off existing methodologies and familiarity with new flight control, responding to traditional jets, which would definitely take a lot of training time and more cash than estimated. All of these factors combined made the X-44 Manta an infeasible project under a small budget, as was the case at the time. Instead, the Air Force turned its attention to other, more immediately orally strategic and lower-risk programs, to which it consigned the X-44 Manta to paper concept stage, and therefore played only an indirect but still important part in future design influences in advanced fighter programs like the NGAD. While some, and in this case Elon Musk, claims suggest that the X-44 Manta could break the laws of physics, what technical and aerodynamic innovations did it incorporate that pushed the boundaries of existing aviation technology, and what were the limitations of these designs? The claim of the X-44 mandible to break the laws of physics seems to be hyperbolical. Such UAV was an example of the real breakthrough in the sphere of aviation and technical possibility at the beginning of the 21st century. The application of thrust vectoring to tailless design was another big step up, providing agility and stealth capabilities that were unmatched by many aircraft at the time. The X-44 elimination of built-in tail surfaces in favor of thrust vectoring to control response capacity was meant to provide levels of performance greater than that which might be expected of conventional designs. This revolutionary idea of maneuvering made tight turns and other dynamic handling characteristics of the X-44 possible while keeping it stable, a concept very new to aviation engineering. But by all means, it is important to realize that even despite so many distinctive features, X-44 remained a quintessential example of aerodynamic principles. The structure of the aircraft required factors that are related to airflow characteristics, including force of lift and drag, as well as other factors related to aerodynamics of flight. The configuration and technology that it underwent was revolutionary but flexible, and was merely an innovative use of conventional aerodynamic principles and not a radical breakaway from conventional principles of flight. On balance, it is correct to regard the X-44 Manta as an indispensable development milestone for the further improvement of the fighter aircraft, a project that illustrated how the principles of scientific rationality could be applied to the improvement of the vehicle design without losing its core value of functionality and practicality inherent in flight. They have shaped the direction of other programs that have or will pave the way for the next generation of advanced fighter aircraft that seek the same kind of maneuverability and/or stealth. What potential impacts could a tailless, highly maneuverable aircraft like the X-44 Manta have on military applications, according to Elon Musk's views on the future of warfare, particularly in relation to AI-driven, autonomous drones and next-generation air combat strategies? Musk believes that the next generation of military aircraft should be entirely self-flying, which he said would have a number of benefits over traditional piloted aircraft. Fully unmanned vehicles could offer operational speeds and mission capabilities beyond the human pilot, improving both operational maneuverability and velocity. It would have allowed unmanned systems to take lightning-quick decisions deriving from artificially intelligent algorithms, making such platforms far more precise and agile than human-flown fighter jets in combat. Such a vision is not far from the X-44 Manta that Lockheed Martin has proposed, and it enshrines many ideas that Musk supports for the future of aerial combat. X-44 can also perform other stunts related to improved maneuverability, including its sharply complex flying movements known as Manta. Although at the moment only a design study, the X-44 and the idea of an unmanned aircraft armed with a variety of missiles, plus its superior performing characteristics, exemplify the drone air power Musk envisions for the future. Aircraft like this could be a blueprint for systems that Musk believes will dominate future air battles. Extremely profitable, very much appreciated in terms of the maneuverability it provides together with fully automated control. According to Musk, such an evolutionary change to drone-like autonomous air systems will recast the very meaning of military aviation and air supremacy. The application of AI would enable aircraft to critically evaluate the actions taking place in the battlefield instantaneously, as well as adapt the plans and actions in as equally a short span of time. This would mean that they could outcompete threats and capture strategic points better than any human, and do it far faster and for far longer. Furthermore, the control system of an autonomous combat aircraft requires no human occupant to protect. Thus, such an aircraft can maneuver more closely to an adversary or assume high-risk functions that would prove lethal to a human pilot. In Musk's vision, this transition from piloted to autonomous and pilotless systems could drastically alter the very philosophical underpinnings of future aerial combat away from an individualist pilots and fighters model towards a much larger LMA-controlled system of large numbers of communal, centrally controlled, safe spaces overseeing masses of robotic ships. With responsiveness and real-time tactical behavior being governed by AI, these drone fleets could operate autonomously to secure regions, intercept incoming dangers, and perform otherwise complicated missions without human interference. These developments might one day reach a paradigm in which autonomous capabilities would govern the sky and dominate the air operating environment without putting human operators at risk. The United States recently made a bold technological statement. In a fierce battle for technological superiority, this country has revealed an upgraded version of the most powerful aircraft in the world, this F-22 Raptor. This fighter is now equipped with enhanced capabilities that could potentially outclass other fifth-generation jets, including China's J-20, which some believe was modeled after the Raptor. But what exactly are these new capabilities? And what were the key reasons behind its original development? Join us as we explore the upgraded features of the billion-dollar F-22 Raptor that has terrified China. The F-22's story began in 1981 when the United States Air Force launched the Advanced Tactical Fighter program with the goal to create an advanced aircraft that could outclass the legendary F-15 Eagle. What emerged from this program was a game-changing fighter jet built for dominance in the skies. Its predecessor, the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, is an impressive American fighter jet with two engines that can fly in all weather. Designed by McDonnell Douglas, which is now part of Boeing, this aircraft was chosen by the U.S. Air Force in 1969 to serve as a dedicated air superiority fighter, and it has proven to be one of the most successful modern fighters, boasting over 100 victories without a single loss in aerial combat, with many of these achievements credited to the Israeli Air Force. While it was initially designed for air superiority, it also has a secondary role for ground attacks, which was not fully utilized at first. This versatility led to the development of the F-15E Strike Eagle, an upgraded model that entered service in 1989 and has since been sold to various nations. Its roots can be traced back to the early Vietnam War, when the U.S. Air Force and Navy were in competition over future tactical aircraft. During this time, Defense Secretary Robert McNamara urged both services to use as many common aircraft as possible, even if it meant compromising on performance. As part of this push, the TFX program was created, aiming to deliver a versatile aircraft for both services. In January 1965, McNamara asked the Air Force to consider designing a low-cost fighter for short-range missions and close air support to replace several existing aircraft, such as the F-100 Super Sabre. The Navy preferred the Douglas A-4 Skyhawk and LTV A-7 Corsair II, which were purely attack aircraft, while the Air Force showed interest in the Northrop F-5 fighter, which could also perform attack missions. Following the loss of two F-105 Thunder Chiefs to outdated MiG-17s in 1965, the need for an air superiority design became clear. In April 1965, the Department of Defense called for studies on an FX fighter, emphasizing maneuverability over speed, and suggesting that the aircraft should also have some ground attack capabilities. As the requirements for an air superiority fighter were finalized later that year, proposals were requested from several companies. Ultimately, 8 companies submitted designs, and after further evaluations, 4 were chosen to develop their ideas. Over 500 design concepts emerged, featuring advanced technologies such as variable sweep wings and impressive performance specs. However, when these proposals were reviewed, many designs were found to be too similar to the TFX F-111 and were not suited for the air superiority role that the Air Force was seeking. During the Vietnam War, studies on combat showed troubling results. The focus was on long-range fighting with missiles and specialized aircraft, leading to planes like the F-4 Phantom II. This powerful fighter had excellent speed and radar, but struggled with maneuverability and often didn't have a gun. As a result, it had a tough time against cheaper fighters like the MiG-21 when battles got close. Missiles didn't work as well as expected, especially in close combat. Though improvements like training and the M61 Vulcan cannon on the F-4 helped, it became clear that the earlier strategies needed a rethink. John Boyd introduced the idea that having extra power and agility mattered more than just speed. This led to calls for a lighter fighter that could be built in large numbers to secure air superiority. By 1967, the Soviet Union introduced the MiG-25, a fast and high-flying interceptor, which alarmed U.S. officials because it seemed more advanced than American fighters. The MiG-23 was also seen as a threat, making the Air Force reconsider their fighter designs. They aimed for a fighter that could compete with the MiG-25 performance. The Air Force and Navy had different needs. The Air Force wanted better maneuverability, while the Navy focused on flexibility. The Navy eventually scrapped its VFX program and chose the F-14 Tomcat, which matched the FX requirements better. In September 1968, the Air Force asked for proposals for a new fighter. The goal was a single-seat aircraft that could reach Mach 2.5, weighing around 40,000 pounds. After reviewing submissions, McDonnell Douglas was chosen to develop the fighter, skipping much of the prototype stage to save time. The result was the F-15 Eagle, a single-seat fighter that could handle air-to-air combat effectively. It featured advanced radar and was built to be light and agile. With its powerful engines, the F-15 boasted a combat thrust-to-weight ratio over 1:1, making it a formidable dogfighter. Though the F-15 was successful, some critics felt it was too large and expensive, prompting the development of lighter fighters like the F-16 and F/A-18 Hornet. As the years went by, the F-15 underwent many upgrades, including improved radar and new engines, ensuring it remained a key player in air combat. In the late 1970s, McDonnell Douglas began work on the F-15E, a dual-role fighter capable of both air-to-air and ground attack missions. This new variant included advanced systems for all-weather operations, enhancing its versatility. As the need for modernized fighters grew, the Air Force planned to upgrade many F-15Cs to maintain a strong fleet. These upgrades included advanced radar and electronic warfare systems, ensuring that the F-15 would remain competitive against newer threats. By 2015, Boeing introduced the 2040C upgrade for the F-15, designed to keep it relevant until 2040. This included features for improved combat capability and integration with newer fighter technologies. While some upgrades were not pursued due to the age of the airframes, the F-15X Eagle II was ordered to replace older models, ensuring the legacy of the F-15 continues in modern aerial warfare. Despite these new upgrades, the intelligence warned that their effectiveness would soon fade due to rising threats from the Soviet Union. This included advanced surface-to-air missiles, the Beriva-50 mainstay AWACS system, and the powerful Sukhoi Su-27 and MiG-29 fighter jets. To address these challenges, the Air Force launched the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program, originally called Senior Sky. The ATF aimed to create a superior air combat fighter that could lead missions against potential Soviet forces in Central Europe. It would support NATO by conducting offensive and defensive air operations, allowing other NATO aircraft to attack ground targets. To achieve this, the ATF needed to be advanced. It would use new materials, advanced technology for flight control, powerful engines capable of flying at speeds around Mach 1.5 without afterburners, and stealth features to remain hidden from enemy radar. Soon after, the United States Air Force sought ideas from aerospace companies to develop the ATF. They had formed a program office to manage the project. After refining their ideas, they issued a request for proposals in 1985, emphasizing stealth, high-speed flight, and maneuverability. As the program progressed, requirements changed, including a focus on reducing the aircraft's radar signature and streamlining designs to save weight. As the program moved into full-scale development, the F-22 design evolved significantly. Changes included alterations to the wings and fuselage to improve aerodynamics and visibility. The aircraft's internal systems were advanced, incorporating complex software and sensors, making it one of the most sophisticated fighters ever built. This aircraft showcases advanced stealth technology, ranking as a fourth-generation stealth aircraft by the U.S. Air Force. This jet is the first of its kind to combine several cutting-edge features. It can fly at high speeds without using afterburners, perform complex maneuvers, stay hidden from radar, and integrate multiple sensors for better performance in challenging situations. The F-22's unique shape is key to its stealth and flying ability. Its design includes smooth curves and carefully aligned edges that help it avoid radar detection. The wings, which are shaped like clipped diamonds, help the plane glide through the air efficiently, reducing drag. This design allows the F-22 to carry its weapons inside its body, enhancing its stealth. The aircraft is also equipped with special features for better performance, such as a refueling system and landing gear that can retract when not in use, making it more versatile in combat situations. It is powered by two Pratt & Whitney F119 engines that provide impressive thrust and maneuverability. These engines can adjust their thrust direction, allowing the plane to perform amazing aerial feats, such as sharp turns and quick climbs. With a top speed of around Mach 1.8 and the ability to cruise at high speeds without using extra fuel, the F-22 can quickly reach targets and evade enemy threats. Its internal fuel capacity gives it an impressive range, allowing it to operate far from base without needing to refuel frequently. One of the most remarkable features of the F-22 is its ability to fly faster and higher than older fighter jets, improving the effectiveness of its sensors and weapons. This allows it to avoid detection and engage targets more efficiently. The jet's internal weapon storage means it can maintain higher performance without the drag that comes from carrying weapons outside. This design lets it fire air-to-air missiles over longer distances, giving it a significant advantage in dogfights. To enhance its stealth, the F-22 is designed to be hard to spot on radar. Its weapons are stored in hidden bays, and its body shape is crafted to scatter radar waves. It also uses special materials to absorb radar signals and minimize its heat signature, making it difficult for heat-seeking missiles to target. The aircraft's engines are designed to reduce infrared emissions, further enhancing its stealth capabilities. Measuring its stealth effectiveness can be tricky, as different radar systems can detect the F-22 to varying degrees. While it's extremely stealthy against certain high-frequency radar systems, lower-frequency radars can still pick it up due to its size. Additionally, while the F-22's design helps reduce its radar visibility, moving the aircraft changes the angles exposed to radar, which could make it easier to detect. The F-22 has also started testing a new shiny surface coating that changes color depending on the viewer's angle. This innovative coating may help it avoid detection by infrared tracking systems. This advanced feature shows how the F-22 continuously evolves to maintain its edge in stealth technology. Equipped with sophisticated avionics, the Raptor combines data from various onboard sensors into a single, clear picture for the pilot. This advanced system helps pilots be more aware of their surroundings while reducing their workload. Key technologies include radar systems that can track multiple targets, an electronic warfare system for detecting threats, and advanced missile launch detectors. These features ensure the F-22 is ready to handle a wide range of combat situations. The radar on the F-22 is especially advanced, allowing it to track enemy aircraft and gather data even in poor weather. It can change frequencies rapidly, making it harder for enemies to detect it. Alongside this, the electronic warfare system alerts the pilot to threats and can guide defensive measures if necessary. With all these systems working together, the F-22 is capable of coordinating with other aircraft and designating targets quickly. Its cockpit is designed for ease of use, featuring digital displays and a side-stick controller for flight control. This setup allows pilots to access important information quickly and efficiently. While initial plans included voice controls, they were dropped due to technical challenges. The cockpit also incorporates advanced life support systems, ensuring pilot safety during extreme conditions, such as high altitudes and intense G-forces. In addition to its impressive internal weapon storage, the F-22's ability to stay hidden while carrying advanced weapons highlights the sophisticated design that keeps it at the forefront of modern fighter jets. Meanwhile, China's stealth jets, such as the Chengdu J-20, have sparked controversy over their designs. Many believe they are heavily influenced by stolen technology from American and Russian fighters. While Russia points out similarities between the J-20 and its old MiG 1.44 project, the accusations of China copying American designs are even harder to dismiss. In 2016, a Chinese man named Su Bin admitted to working with the Chinese military to steal U.S. military secrets, especially designs for stealth jets like the F-22 and F-35. According to the United States Justice Department, Su, along with two hackers, accessed protected computer networks from companies like Boeing, stealing sensitive military data. Su ran a small aviation business in Canada called Load Tech, but worked hard to build connections with American and Canadian defense contractors. This helped him gain access to restricted information. As FBI's counterintelligence expert Bob Anderson put it, Su would slowly gain trust over time. While China was developing its stealth fighter in 2008, Su started helping hackers steal files from Boeing, including a huge amount of data on the C-17 aircraft. But his true goal was information about the F-22 and F-35. Su used his connections to get access to thousands of files related to these stealth programs, which he translated and shared with the Chinese military. Su and his team also tried to hide their tracks by using third-party countries to disguise where their hacking came from. In 2009, U.S. officials confirmed that Chinese hackers had repeatedly accessed the F-35 program, stealing valuable design data. By 2011, Su was confidently telling his contacts in China that the stolen data would allow them to rapidly catch up to U.S. stealth technology. Not long after, the J-20 fighter showed notable improvements, fueling speculation that these advancements were linked to the stolen American designs. This suspicion became more concrete in 2014, when the U.S. filed charges against Su, leading to his arrest in Canada. The FBI uncovered communications between Su and Chinese military officials, proving his role in the theft. After being extradited to the U.S., Su cooperated with authorities and was sentenced to 46 months in prison. While much of the data Su stole wasn't classified, it still saved China a lot of time and money in developing its own military technology. These stolen designs helped China improve its J-20 fighter, though some changes may have come from their own research. Ultimately, Su's theft allowed China to incorporate American stealth technology into its fighters, making the J-20 a serious threat. Even though China's jets may not match the performance of American fighters, they're still dangerous, especially with the right strategies and tactics. China's use of stolen technology is undeniable, but it would be wrong to underestimate their military power because of it. While it has been agreed that China's J-20 is quite similar to the F-22, their capabilities cannot be compared. While the J-20 is unique in all sense, the Raptor has undergone a series of expensive upgrades that makes it even more formidable and feared across the world. On August 29, 2024, the U.S. Air Force revealed an exciting $1 billion contract with Raytheon, part of RTX, to supply advanced sensors known as Group B hardware. These high-tech sensors, along with spare parts and support equipment, will play a key role in the ongoing upgrade of the F-22 Raptor, one of the most powerful fighter jets in the world. These upgrades are designed to keep the F-22 at the top of its game as the Air Force prepares for future challenges. Recently, the Air Force also tested advanced sensors, which they plan to deploy soon. Brigadier General Jason D. Voorhees, a leading figure in the fighter aircraft program, explained that the Air Force is moving fast to get these upgrades into the sky. 6 flight tests have already proven just how advanced these sensors are, and they're part of a bigger plan to keep the F-22 flying longer and stronger. What's even more exciting is that some of these new sensors might be housed in sleek, stealthy pods attached to the F-22. These could include powerful infrared search and track sensors, which will allow the Raptor to detect enemy aircraft from far away, even when they're not visible to the naked eye. This upgrade was confirmed in the 2025 budget, signaling a major leap forward for the F-22's capabilities. This is just one part of a massive $7.8 billion plan to upgrade the F-22 by 2030. This ambitious effort includes $3.1 billion for research and development and another $4.7 billion for procurement, all aimed at making sure the F-22 stays unmatched in the sky. In addition to the new sensors, the F-22 is set to receive a range of other upgrades. These include cutting-edge identification friend or foe systems, advanced radar protection, and a new GPS navigation system. Plus, a new software platform called Grace will allow the F-22 to run even more sophisticated systems, boosting its performance and giving pilots a clearer, faster understanding of the battlefield. But that's not all. The Air Force is also working on a brand new helmet for F-22 pilots. The current helmet design is over 40 years old, and the new one will feature a high-tech display that shows crucial flight information right in front of the pilot's eyes. This futuristic helmet will make flying the F-22 even more efficient and allow pilots to react faster in high-stress combat situations. These upgrades ensure that the F-22 will continue to dominate the skies, blending stealth, speed, and unmatched technology to stay ahead of any threat. The Raptor's journey is far from over. Its best days may still be ahead. The Israeli Air Force has just become an even more powerful force. Recently, war tensions are escalating, and Israel is stepping up its military game. the country is set to unveil a cutting-edge $500 million fighter jet with advanced capabilities designed to dominate the skies. This supersonic aircraft is built for speed, agility, and unrivaled firepower, aimed at strengthening Israel's air supremacy against emerging threats, especially Palestine. How does this revolutionary fighter jet work? Is this new fighter truly capable of changing the dynamics of the war? Join us as we explore the groundbreaking features of Israel's new $500 million supersonic fighter jet, ready to fight against Palestine. The F-15X Eagle II is a powerhouse that mixes the best of traditional fighter design with modern advancements, pushing it to the forefront of aerial combat. It can fly faster, farther, and carry more firepower than almost any other jet in its class. The U.S. Air Force invested heavily in its development, and Israel's adoption of the F-15EX means they will be flying one of the most advanced combat aircraft in the world. This fighter jet is based on the proven design of the F-15, which has been a dominant force in air-to-air combat for decades. This jet brings 21st century technologies to the battlefield, loaded with state-of-the-art systems that make it almost unstoppable in combat. One of the features of the F-15AX is its ability to carry an unmatched arsenal of weapons. It carries up to 22 air-to-air missiles, and that is a record-breaking payload for any fighter jet. This jet carries advanced bombs, long-range standoff weapons, and precision-guided munitions, making it a formidable opponent in both air-to-air and air-to-ground combat. Its creativity allows it to strike targets with precise accuracy, while also defending itself from threats at incredible distances. With its twin engines, the aircraft can reach speeds of up to Mach 2.5, and that's over 1,900 miles per hour. This fighter jet's engines provide enough thrust to ensure it doesn't just keep up with the fastest fighters in the sky, but can outrun them. The F-15EX Eagle II is equipped with the latest radar and avionics systems designed to give pilots an edge in any combat. The radar allows the jet to detect, track, and engage enemy aircraft. This radar can also track multiple targets simultaneously, giving Israeli pilots a crucial advantage in complex air battles. This aircraft has advanced electronic warfare systems that protect it from enemy missiles. These systems can jam enemy radars and disrupt incoming missile guidance, effectively rendering enemy attacks useless. One of the most impressive aspects of this fighter jet is how adaptable it is. While it's designed primarily for air-to-air combat, it can easily switch to air-to-ground roles. Israel's new fighter jet is ready to take on multiple roles. It can engage enemy aircraft and deliver devastating, accurate strikes on ground targets. The jet also possesses an advanced data link system that allows it to communicate with other aircraft and ground forces in real time. This approach to combat enables this fighter jet to share data with other jets, drones, and even ground-based radar systems. It is perfect for the types of operations Israel may need to conduct, which are long-range strikes, air superiority missions, and the ability to engage multiple threats at once. It is built to fly for decades. The jet is designed with an extended lifespan, as it can be upgraded over time as new technologies emerge. This ensures that Israel's Air Force remains at the cutting edge of aerial combat well into the future. The F-15X Eagle II's speed allows it to cover vast distances in a short amount of time, which is important for Israel, a country that often faces threats from multiple fronts. Whether it's intercepting enemy aircraft or conducting a precision strike, this aircraft can get there faster than anything in the skies. One of the major features that makes this aircraft so valuable to Israel is its ability to carry a massive load over long distances without affecting its main purpose. In the Middle East, where Israel needs to respond quickly to threats beyond its immediate border areas like Syria or even Iran, this aircraft's extended range and ability to operate without constant refueling offer critical strategic advantages. This fighter jet is designed to fly further, for longer, and with more firepower than any other fighter in the region, allowing Israel to project power far beyond its borders. This aircraft's advanced data link system allows it to function seamlessly alongside other Israeli assets, such as drones and the F-35I. By integrating this aircraft into its existing fleet, Israel ensures that it maintains a versatile and layered defense system. While the F-35I focuses on stealth and penetrating enemy air defenses, this aircraft delivers overwhelming firepower and endurance for bigger operations. This combination ensures that Israel remains ready for any situation, whether it's engaging enemy aircraft, neutralizing missile threats, or conducting deep strikes on high-value targets. Another critical advantage that this aircraft provides is its open architecture design. This feature is particularly important for Israel, which is known for developing and incorporating its own advanced systems into imported aircraft. This aircraft is designed to be highly customizable, allowing Israel to integrate its own radar, weapon systems, and avionics. This flexibility ensures that the jet can be continuously upgraded with new technologies and remain at the forefront of aerial warfare for decades to come. Aside from the F-15EX that is ready to take off, Israel has gotten most of its military aircraft from the United States. These include the F-15 Eagle, F-4 Phantom II, MiG-15, and F-35 Lightning II. The McDonnell Douglas F-4. Phantom II is an aircraft that changed the face of aerial combat and became a symbol of air power in the 1960s and beyond. Unlike many of its predecessors, this fighter aircraft wasn't designed just for speed or sheer firepower. It was designed to excel in a variety of roles, from air-to-air combat to bombing missions. This two-seat twin-engine jet was a game-changer when it first took flight in 1958. It was one of the fastest aircraft of its time, capable of reaching speeds over Mach 2.2, making it a dominant force in the skies during the Cold War era. With its massive engines, this fighter could scream past its rivals at more than 1,500 miles per hour. It was the first jet capable of simultaneously carrying air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground missiles, and bombs. This multi-role capability made it a go-to fighter for both the U.S. Navy and Air Force, and later many allied nations. It could intercept enemy fighters and deliver devastating strikes on ground targets with precision. This adaptability was crucial during the Vietnam War, where this aircraft flew countless missions, engaging enemy MiGs and providing close air support for ground troops. Despite its lack of built-in guns, there was something that was unusual for a fighter jet at the time. This fighter aircraft relied on advanced missile technology, including the AIM-7 Sparrow and AIM-9 Sidewinder for its air-to-air combat superiority. These missiles allowed this fighter jet to engage targets from long distances, making it a formidable opponent. This jet is not just fast and powerful, it has advanced radar systems for long-range detection and targeting, giving it an edge over earlier generations of fighter jets. Its radar allowed pilots to track and engage enemy aircraft in all weather conditions, something that earlier jets struggled with. This fighter aircraft could detect and destroy targets in both clear skies and storms, making it a reliable asset in any battle environment. This fighter aircraft evolved through multiple developments and upgrades, extending its service life well into the 1990s. It became one of the most widely produced and exported fighter jets in history, serving in the Air Forces. Its long-lasting legacy speaks to its remarkable design and the impact it had on aerial combat for decades. The F-4 Phantom II remains a symbol of American air power, a jet that dominated the skies for over 30 years. Its speed, firepower, and versatility made it a cornerstone of modern fighter aviation, and its legend lives on in the annals of military aviation history. The Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-15 was a game-changer in jet aviation, and it redefined the way aerial combat would be fought in the early Cold War years. Developed by the Soviet Union in the late 1940s, this fighter aircraft was designed with one purpose, and that was to outperform and outgun every threat in the skies. It is known as one of the most feared and effective fighters of its time. This single-seat jet was one of the first to feature swept wings, which is a radical design that allowed it to achieve incredible speeds and unmatched mobility. With its top speed of over 650 miles per hour, this fighter aircraft could soar past many of its rivals, including American propeller-driven fighters, which were rapidly becoming outdated. This fighter aircraft stood out as a cutting-edge innovation, capable of taking the fight to any adversary. It is equipped with a devastating combination of 23mm and 37mm cannons. Its firepower was especially deadly against larger and slower targets. This fighter aircraft's cannons could tear through enemy aircraft with ease, making it a nightmare for U.S. pilots flying bombing missions. Its introduction during the Korean War led to some of the most famous aerial battles in history, as it went head-to-head with the U.S.-built F-86 Sabre. These combats were intense, high-speed duels at the edge of technology, and this fighter aircraft's agility made it a formidable opponent. With its swept-wing design and powerful Klimov VK-1 turbojet engine, this fighter aircraft could climb and turn faster than most Western jets, giving it an advantage in close-quarters combat. The Soviet design philosophy was to build something that could be produced quickly and in large numbers without sacrificing effectiveness. This fighter aircraft was rugged, reliable, and easy to maintain, making it the ideal fighter for the Soviet Union and its allies. It was mass-produced on a scale that allowed it to dominate the skies in Korea and beyond, with over 18,000 units built by the time production ended. It was exported to numerous countries, including China, North Korea, and Eastern European nations, where it became a symbol of Soviet military power. Its influence on aerial warfare was felt worldwide, and it set the stage for the development of future Soviet jets like the MiG-17 and MiG-21, which would continue to challenge the West in the decades to come. For the Soviet Union, the MiG-15 represented a massive leap forward in air combat capability. It was an aircraft that could match, and sometimes even surpass, the best fighters the West had to offer. Its success in Korea and its lasting legacy in aviation history cement its place as one of the most iconic fighter jets ever built. The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II is the pinnacle of modern air combat technology, a fifth-generation stealth fighter designed to dominate the battlefield. Packed with cutting-edge systems and unrivaled versatility, this fighter jet represents a massive leap forward in military aviation. It's a flying computer, sensor hub, and lethal strike platform all rolled into one sleek, stealthy design. What makes this fighter jet stand out of other aircraft is its stealth technology. It's built to be nearly invisible to enemy radar, allowing it to sneak into hostile airspace, gather intelligence, and strike before the enemy even knows it's there. Its sleek shape, special coatings, and internal weapons bays are all designed to minimize its radar signature, giving it the upper hand in modern air warfare. Its advanced sensor suite can detect, track, and engage multiple targets across vast distances, all while sharing real-time data with other aircraft, ships, and ground forces. This gives pilots a full 360-degree view of the battlefield, turning them into more than just a fighter jock. They become an airborne commander, directing the flow of the battle with unprecedented situational awareness. One of the most revolutionary aspects of this jet is its ability to integrate with a vast array of platforms. It can serve multiple roles, from air superiority to ground attack and even intelligence gathering. This multi-role capability makes this fighter jet invaluable to modern militaries. Another key feature is its supersonic speed, capable of flying at over Mach 1.6, and its ability to carry a wide range of weapons. Unlike older aircraft that have to sacrifice stealth to carry external weapons, this fighter jet can store its arsenal internally, maintaining its low radar profile even while fully armed. This allows it to strike with precision and leave the battlefield before enemy defenses can even react. This aircraft comes in 3 upgrades. Each of them had specific mission profiles. The F-35A is the conventional takeoff and landing variant, designed for traditional runways. The F-35B has short takeoff and vertical landing capabilities, making it perfect for operating from smaller ships or rough airstrips. Finally, the F-35C is optimized for carrier operations, with larger wings and stronger landing gear for catapult launches and arrested recoveries. Its state-of-the-art helmet-mounted display system is like something out of the ordinary. It gives the pilot a full heads-up display, allowing them to see through the aircraft using sensors on the plane's exterior. This gives the pilot unparalleled awareness, making the aircraft almost an extension of their body. It displays targeting information, weapon status, and even live video feeds from the sensors around the jet, giving the pilot a godlike view of the battlefield. In terms of firepower, this fighter aircraft is equipped with advanced air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles and precision bombs. It is built to deliver devastating firepower with precise accuracy. It's a true multi-role fighter that excels in any combat situation. It's a revolution in aerial combat, designed to ensure that those who fly it have the ultimate advantage in any battle. Its combination of stealth, speed, advanced sensors, and overwhelming firepower makes it one of the most formidable aircraft ever built, ensuring air superiority for any nation lucky enough to operate it. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle is a fighter aircraft that has earned its place as one of the most dominant air superiority fighters ever built. Designed in the 1970s, this twin-engine, all-weather tactical fighter is renowned for its speed, agility, and unmatched combat performance. It can soar at speeds of over Mach 2.5, which is more than twice the speed of sound. Its climb rate is staggering, able to reach 30,000 feet in under a minute, meaning it can dominate the high ground with ease. It is equipped with powerful Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines and an advanced wing design. This jet can perform tight turns and rapid acceleration, outmaneuvering most opponents in aerial combat. This fighter aircraft has a combat record of over 100 aerial victories and no loss in air-to-air combat. Its advanced radar, the APG-63, gives the pilot the ability to detect, track, and engage multiple enemy targets at long range. This radar is so powerful that it can track aircraft, missiles, and even small drones over vast distances, giving this aircraft the advantage of striking before its enemies can react. The aircraft's ability to detect and engage threats from beyond visual range makes it a lethal force in the air. Over the decades, this aircraft has proven its versatility in a variety of roles beyond air superiority. It has been adapted into strike versions like the F-15E Strike Eagle, capable of delivering precision-guided bombs on ground targets while still maintaining its aerial combat dominance. This multi-role capability makes this fighter aircraft a valuable asset not only for air dominance, but also for deep strike missions in hostile territory. With continuous upgrades over the years, the F-15 Eagle has stayed at the cutting edge of technology. Modern developments are equipped with advanced avionics, new radars, and more efficient engines, ensuring that the Eagle remains a top-tier fighter well into the 21st century. Its proven design and adaptability have made it a cornerstone of air forces across the globe, from the US to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Japan. The F-15EX is designed to survive in rough environments. Its robust electronic warfare suite allows it to not only evade enemy radars, but also actively disrupt them, reducing the chances of being targeted by surface-to-air missiles or enemy aircraft. This survivability is critical in an environment where threats come from multiple sources, including both ground-based missile systems and rival air forces. For Israel, whose adversaries often rely on a mix of conventional and unconventional tactics, having a jet that can withstand such environments is important. The introduction of this aircraft into Israel's arsenal represents a significant shift in the balance of power. While Palestine doesn't have an air force capable of challenging Israel, this fighter jet gives Israel a tool to maintain absolute air dominance. With its advanced radar, weapon systems, and electronic warfare capabilities, the aircraft is designed to control the skies. As tensions remain high across the Middle East, Israel's acquisition of the F-15X Eagle II signals that it is not just preparing for current threats, but future ones as well. The region is a complex, volatile mix of political and military challenges, and Israel's ability to maintain air superiority through cutting-edge technology will continue to play a central role in its defense strategy. With this aircraft ready to take flight in 2024, Israel is ensuring it stays one step ahead in an ever-evolving and unpredictable environment. In addition to the incredible advancements that this aircraft brings to the table, its arrival also represents a strategic leap for Israel. This aircraft is not just about raw power, but about operational flexibility and the ability to face a variety of modern combat challenges. Israel's acquisition of the F-15X Eagle shows its need to operate in diverse scenarios that include border conflicts, potential engagements with well-equipped regional militaries, and even highly specialized missions involving long-range precision strikes. As the Russo-Ukrainian war continues to wage on intensely, Russia has made a daring move that no one saw coming. This country just unveiled a $300 million fighter jet packed with incredible speed and devastating firepower. Built to dominate the skies, this jet is not only faster but also highly agile, with the potential to engage and outmatch even the advanced American F-35 in aerial combat. What makes this fighter jet so unique? Could it really subdue the F-35? Join us as we explore the groundbreaking features of Russia's insane new $300 million fighter jet that can destroy the F-35 in seconds. The Sukhoi Su-75 Checkmate, also known as the Checkmate, is an impressive new addition to the world of fighter jets. Designed by Russia, this jet is built to be fast, stealthy, and loaded with advanced technology. The Checkmate is a fifth-generation fighter jet that can compete with other powerful aircraft like the US-made F-35. The goal with this fighter jet is to appeal to countries that need a capable, modern fighter, but don't have the enormous budgets required for more expensive jets. This approach makes this aircraft an interesting one in the fighter jet market. What makes this jet unique is its focus on stealth technology, which makes it hard to detect by enemy radar. The engineers who designed it worked carefully on its shape, using special angles and materials to reflect as little radar energy as possible. This means the jet has smooth surfaces and a carefully designed body that deflects radar waves, making it much harder for enemies to spot. Instead of hanging weapons on its wings, as many older jets do, this aircraft hides its weapons inside the aircraft. This hidden design doesn't just help with stealth, it also reduces drag, which lets the plane fly faster and with greater maneuverability. Unlike many modern fighter jets, this fighter aircraft uses a single-engine design. Most advanced fighters, like the F-22 and Su-57, use two engines to reach higher speeds and handle heavier loads. But a single-engine design makes it cheaper to produce and maintain, which lowers its overall operating costs. Despite having only one engine, this jet is very fast and agile. It is powered by a version of the AL-41F1 engine, which is a powerful and reliable engine used in other Russian jets. This engine can potentially allow the jet to reach speeds of up to Mach 1.8, letting it keep up with other fifth-generation fighters while using less fuel. Its cockpit is designed to help the pilot handle fast, complex situations with ease. It features a high-tech interface that gives the pilot important information about the aircraft, surrounding threats, and mission details, all showing on a single screen. The pilot can even use voice commands to control certain systems, meaning they can keep their hands on the controls without needing to look down at buttons or switches. This type of advanced, user-friendly cockpit makes it easier for the pilot to focus on tactics and decision-making during missions, enhancing both safety and efficiency. The jet's advanced radar system also adds to its capabilities. Using what's known as an electronically scanned array radar, it can track multiple targets at once, identifying and monitoring enemy aircraft or other threats from a significant distance. This radar system is similar to the one found on Russia's Su-57, giving it the ability to detect targets well before they get close. In combat, this long-range radar allows the pilot to see threats from afar, decide on a plan of action, and engage or evade before the enemy is even aware of its presence. This advanced radar capability is essential in today's aerial combat, where quick reaction times and early detection are crucial. Designed for flexibility, this fighter jet is built to handle a wide range of missions. Whether the mission is focused on air-to-air combat, ground strikes, or surveillance, it can adapt. This flexibility is partly due to its modular design, which allows operators to change certain parts based on the type of mission. If a mission requires more firepower, the Checkmate can be equipped with additional air-to-air missiles. And if the mission involves attacking ground targets, it can be equipped with precision-guided bombs. This makes it a versatile tool, ready to take on a variety of roles based on the needs of the mission. The aircraft's weapons system includes a mix of missiles and bombs that can be designed to suit different situations. In air-to-air combat, this fighter aircraft can carry short and long-range missiles, giving it the ability to engage targets both close-up and at a distance. For ground attacks, it can carry bombs with precision guidance technology, allowing it to strike specific targets with high accuracy. This mix of weapons makes it really effective in both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles, providing a well-rounded set of capabilities that makes it useful in diverse combat scenarios. In close-range fights, where agility and speed are essential, this aircraft can perform well. One key feature that gives it an edge is its thrust vectoring, a technology that allows the engine's exhaust to be directed in different ways. This directional exhaust provides greater control and allows the jet to make sharper turns, giving it an advantage when maneuvering against enemy fighters. By adjusting the direction of the engine thrust, the pilot can quickly change the jet's position, helping them outmaneuver opponents during intense aerial engagements. Maintenance cost is another area where the checkmate stands out. Many advanced fighter jets are incredibly expensive to maintain due to their complex systems and high-tech materials. However, this jet has been designed with simpler, more reliable components that make maintenance easier and less costly. This has been a big selling point for countries with smaller defense budgets, as it reduces the lifetime cost of operating the jet. One thing that makes this fighter jet so appealing is its strong focus on digital technology and automation. It is also equipped with artificial intelligence assistance systems, which will give the pilot a powerful advantage. These AI systems can analyze vast amounts of data in real time, offering suggestions to the pilot, or even making tactical decisions independently when needed. The AI could track multiple targets simultaneously and provide the pilot with the best options for attack or evade. This capability makes it highly efficient in combat, allowing the pilot to focus more on strategy rather than on manually managing every system. The Checkmate's software and systems are designed with future upgrades in mind, meaning it can easily incorporate new technology over time. This ability to upgrade is significant as military technology is advancing rapidly, and a fighter jet can quickly become out of date if it isn't adaptable. By creating a design that can be updated with new hardware and software, Sukhoi is ensuring that this aircraft can stay relevant for decades. In the long run, this adaptability can save operators money, as they won't need to replace their jets every few years. They can simply upgrade their jet as new advancements in radar, sensors, or AI become available. Its stealth capabilities have always been its most impressive features, as there has been more significant effort into making this jet difficult to detect. Aside from its radar-evading shape, the jet is constructed with radar-absorbent materials that further reduce its visibility to enemy radar systems. These materials are carefully chosen to absorb radar waves rather than reflect them, which minimizes the jets being seen on enemy screens. Another aspect that makes this powerful aircraft stand out is its potential for carrier operations. The Checkmate jet is modified to take off and land on aircraft carriers, making it one of the rare single-engine stealth fighters able to operate from carriers. This carrier version can provide a cost-effective stealth option for naval forces, allowing them to project power far beyond their home bases. Being adaptable for aircraft carriers adds extra flexibility, making it a fighter jet that can operate in different environments to protect airspace over both land and sea. This powerful aircraft also has a low infrared signature, which means it's less likely to be detected by heat-seeking missiles or sensors. Its engine and exhaust are designed in such a way that they emit less heat than traditional jet engines. Lower heat emissions make it harder for enemy infrared sensors to track this jet, reducing the chance of detection by thermal imaging systems. This low heat design is part of what makes this aircraft valuable in missions where remaining undetected is essential, such as reconnaissance or precision strikes. By combining low radar and infrared signatures, it can evade both types of detection methods commonly used by enemy forces. The jet's fuel efficiency also sets it apart. Due to its single-engine design and carefully streamlined body, the aircraft can fly for extended periods without needing to refuel. Long-range capabilities are essential for countries with vast territories or those that need to patrol large areas without frequent refueling stops. The fuel efficiency is also advantageous in combat scenarios, as it enables the aircraft to stay in the air longer, providing better support to ground troops or staying alert to enemy threats over extended periods. This extended range and endurance make it especially appealing to countries with large areas to cover. Beyond its technical capabilities, its low cost and ease of use make it appealing for joint training exercises and cooperative missions with allied nations. Many countries with limited defense budgets might find it easier to operate and maintain this fighter jet than some of the other fifth-generation fighters. This accessibility allows for more collaborative defense programs, where multiple countries share training resources or develop combined air strategies. By choosing a fighter like the Checkmate, which is easier to acquire and manage, these countries have enhanced their defense partnerships, contributing to regional stability and security. Using the F-35 as a comparison might not be the best choice because this jet has faced many challenges from its design stage to full production, and it is nowhere near the Checkmate. To understand why, let's take a closer look at the F-35 project. The F-35, also known as the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, was created to be the world's most advanced stealth fighter. Developed by the United States, this aircraft was supposed to replace older models and bring revolutionary capabilities to the battlefield. However, the path to making it work has been full of problems, delays, and high costs. Designed to serve multiple branches of the U.S. military, the F-35 aimed to be a one-size-fits-all fighter, which meant it needed to perform a wide range of tasks for the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. But that ambition quickly turned into one of the most complicated and expensive military projects in history. One major reason the F-35 became so complex is that it was built in 3 versions, having the F-35A for conventional takeoff and landing, the F-35B with short takeoff and vertical landing for the Marines, and the F-35C for aircraft carrier operations for the Navy. Each version had to meet different needs, making it difficult for engineers to design a single jet that could perform so many roles. This challenge led to technical issues and increased the time and money required to bring each version to life. One unique feature of the F-35 is its advanced stealth technology, designed to make it nearly invisible to enemy radar. Its special shape and materials help reduce its radar signature, so it's harder to detect in combat. While this stealth capability gives the F-35 an edge in sneaking past enemy defenses, it also makes the jet more expensive to maintain. The materials that reduce its radar signature are delicate and require careful handling, meaning that any minor damage could compromise its stealthiness. The F-35's cockpit is another high-tech aspect that was supposed to make it revolutionary. Instead of traditional gauges and dials, the F-35 relies on a massive touchscreen display and a helmet-mounted display system. The helmet itself is a piece of technology worth noting, as it provides the pilot with a 360-degree view, allowing them to see through the aircraft as if the jet itself were invisible. This high-tech helmet, however, came with its own set of problems. Priced at hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit, it's also heavy and uncomfortable, leading to concerns for pilots, especially in high-stress combat scenarios. For all its cutting-edge features, the F-35 has faced criticism for performance issues. One major drawback is that it can't fly at twice the speed of sound as some other jets can. In fact, the F-35's supersonic flight mode is limited to brief bursts, and there's even a warning on its control panel advising pilots to use it only in emergencies. While it's still fast, this limitation restricts its ability to perform at the speeds that many other fighter jets can reach, which could be a disadvantage in high-speed air combat. Additionally, the F-35 relies heavily on complex software to function, with millions of lines of code running its systems. This reliance on software has led to frequent glitches and has made the jet more prone to technical issues. The software complications mean that the F-35 often needs updates and troubleshooting, which has slowed down its deployment and made it harder to keep ready for action. In combat situations, any software problem could potentially limit the jet's effectiveness, raising questions about its reliability on the battlefield. The F-35 is also known for being costly to maintain. The price tag of around $80 million per jet and the maintenance costs add up significantly over time. The advanced stealth coatings need constant care, and any repairs to their sensitive technology require specialized tools and expertise, further driving up costs. This high upkeep has made it challenging for some countries to justify the expense, even if they were initially interested in purchasing the jet. Another problem that has troubled the F-35 is its ability to be ready for missions. The aircraft has faced problems with reliability, and many units have been taken out of operation for repairs at any given time. Its engine, while powerful, has faced issues, including failures in its heat-resistant coating, which can lead to expensive repairs. These maintenance delays mean that not all F-35s are flight-ready at the same time, reducing the fleet's overall effectiveness in large-scale operations. Despite these setbacks, the F-35 does have impressive weapons. It can carry a range of missiles and bombs, with an internal weapons bay that allows it to remain stealthy while still being powerful. For missions where stealth isn't as critical, it can also carry additional weapons on external mounts. This flexibility in armament allows the F-35 to perform both air-to-air and air-to-ground attacks, making it a versatile choice for a variety of missions. One of the most innovative aspects of the F-35 is its ability to gather and share information with other units in real time. It can connect with other F-35s and allied forces, creating a networked view of the battlefield. This data-sharing capability is a huge advantage, as it enables coordinated attacks and improves situational awareness for the entire team. This networked warfare concept is part of what makes the F-35 valuable, even if it has faced issues along the way. However, as advanced as it is, the F-35's development and operational issues have left room for other nations to step up with alternative options. Russia's Checkmate fighter is quickly becoming a better choice for countries looking for a new military aircraft. Many nations are turning away from the F-35 because of its high costs and complicated technology. The Checkmate's designers have even considered future updates to keep the jet competitive in a changing world. The Russian aircraft company has mentioned the plans to create an unmanned version of the Checkmate, which would allow it to be used as a drone. In this unmanned mode, it could fly missions without a human pilot, potentially being controlled from a base far away. This capability would be useful for high-risk missions, where sending a human pilot might be too dangerous. The possibility of an unmanned development shows that the country is thinking ahead and aiming to keep the aircraft relevant for future warfare needs. It has also been that a two-seater version of the Checkmate will be developed soon. This development would allow for a co-pilot or systems officer to join the mission, providing additional support in high-stakes operations. The second crew member could take charge of managing weapon systems, communications, or electronic warfare, allowing the main pilot to focus entirely on flying and tactics. A two-seater variant would be useful for complex missions that require extensive multitasking or coordination with other units, giving air forces even more flexibility in mission planning. This fighter aircraft represents a significant shift in fighter jet design philosophy. By balancing affordability with advanced technology, it is also challenging the traditional fact that fifth-generation fighters must come with sky-high price tags. With this jet, countries that could not previously afford fifth-generation technology now have a potential entry point into the world of stealth and digital warfare. This shift could have a lasting impact on global air combat, making advanced air capabilities accessible to more nations, and, in turn, reshaping military strategies around the world. The Sukhoi Su-75 Checkmate is more than just a new fighter jet. It represents a new approach to fighter design, one that combines stealth, versatility, and affordability. With its AI-driven systems, stealth capabilities, adaptability for various missions, and future-focused design, it has the potential to make fifth-generation combat technology available to a broader range of countries. By providing a fighter jet that balances advanced features with cost-effective operation, this fighter jet could redefine the expectations for modern fighter jets in the years to come. Russia's Checkmate fighter jet isn't just a new player in the aviation world, but it's built with the ambition to outmaneuver and outperform, especially against competitors like the F-35. Packed with features that blend stealth, speed, and striking power, the aircraft is designed to capitalize on the weaknesses of the F-35 and to dominate in combat scenarios where every second counts. The Ukrainian Air Force just revealed a fighter with outstanding abilities. As the war rages on, Ukrainian pilots are facing off against a relentless enemy in the most challenging conditions. But even with the tough challenges ahead, one aircraft has become a symbol of hope. Known for its dominance in air-to-air combat, the F-15 has just proven once again why it's a game-changer. How did this pilot take control of the skies? How does this fighter jet continue to define air superiority in a war zone? Join us as we explore the unknown reasons why a Ukrainian F-15 pilot had to make an emergency takeoff at Starokostiantyniv Air Base. The F-15 Eagle, designed by McDonnell Douglas, is one of the most iconic fighter jets in history, representing air superiority at its finest. Since its introduction in 1976, the F-15 has set the standard for air combat with over 100 confirmed aerial victories and 0 losses, proving itself as an unmatched force in aerial warfare. This fighter jet was born out of the need for a dedicated air superiority fighter after lessons learned during the Vietnam War. At the time, countries recognized that it needed a jet capable of dominating the skies, especially after encountering the Soviet aircraft like the MiG-21. The Eagle's design focused on ensuring superiority in air-to-air combat, prioritizing speed, maneuverability, and firepower. It was developed to replace the aging fleet of F-4 Phantoms, a multi-role fighter, but with a better focus on air dominance. The F-15 is powered by two Pratt & Whitney F-10 afterburning turbofan engines, which allow it to reach speeds exceeding Mach 2.5. This exceptional speed gives the F-15 its famed ability to run faster, allowing the fighter to fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners. Its power allows the Eagle to climb at rates over 50,000 feet per minute, quickly gaining altitude and providing tactical advantages in combat. Its advanced radar system is another key component of its superiority. The original radar system, one of the first pulse Doppler radar systems used in a fighter jet, allowed pilots to detect and engage enemy aircraft from beyond visual range. This radar could track and engage multiple targets simultaneously, giving the F-15 a decisive edge in combat. Later, it was upgraded, and it can electronically scan array radar to enhance the Eagle's detection range and target tracking capabilities. One intriguing thing about this air fighter is its ability to carry a formidable array of weapons. Its primary air-to-air weapon includes AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles for long-range engagements and AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles for short-range attacks. In addition to missiles, the F-15 is equipped with an internal M61 Vulcan 20mm cannon, capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute for close-in engagements. This F-15 combat record is amazing. Since its debut, it has participated in multiple conflicts, including the Gulf War, where it was responsible for the majority of the air-to-air damages achieved by coalition forces. The Eagle has proven to be a reliable and effective platform in various operational theaters, from defending airspace in Israel to conducting air patrols over Saudi Arabia. This fighter jet's record of zero air-to-air combat losses speaks to its dominance. Its performance in conflicts has made it a special aircraft for many countries. The F-15 has been exported to several nations, including Israel, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Ukraine. Ukraine in particular has been a well-known user of the F-15, utilizing the aircraft in numerous successful operations, such as intercepting enemy jets and striking high-value targets. Over the years, this fighter jet has undergone numerous upgrades and evolved into several developments to meet different mission requirements. One of the developments is the F-15E Strike Eagle, a multi-role fighter capable of both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. The Strike Eagle was developed in the 1980s to provide the country with a platform that could conduct deep strike missions, hitting ground targets while still maintaining air superiority. The F-15X Eagle II, introduced in the 2020s, is the latest and most advanced upgrade of the F-15 family. The F-15EX includes cutting-edge avionics, including a new digital cockpit, advanced radar systems, and a fly-by-wire control system. It can carry a larger payload than previous versions, making it ideal for both air superiority missions and precision strikes. The Eagle II is expected to remain in service for decades, complementing the more stealth-oriented F-22 and F-35 aircraft. In the history of World War II, few aircraft were as important as the F-15. The Hawker Hurricane is a British-built aircraft that was often overshadowed by its more famous sibling, the Supermarine Spitfire, but this aircraft was the hero of the Battle of Britain. The Hurricane was designed in the 1930s by Sidney Cam, who created a robust, easy-to-build, and repairable fighter that formed the backbone of the Royal Air Force in the early years of World War II. With its first flight in 1935, it became the Royal Air Force's first fighter. However, it was not as fast or agile as the Spitfire. This fighter jet had something the Royal Air Force desperately needed. It was easier and quicker to produce than the Spitfire, and during the Battle of Britain, more than 60% of enemy planes were shot down by Hurricanes. It was armed with 8 Browning machine guns, and though it might not have been cutting edge in terms of speed or design, its ruggedness made it a formidable dogfighter. It could adapt for ground attacks, night fighting, and even as a carrier-based aircraft. This versatility made this fighter jet a true workhorse for the Allies, with over 14,000 units produced. This was a plane that could take hits, keep flying, and strike back. Many pilots credited their survival to the Hurricane's durability. But while this fighter jet was dominating in the skies over Britain, the Soviet Union was developing something equally fierce, and that was the MiG. The MiG series of fighter planes was the Soviet response to the growing air power challenges of the 20th century. The MiG-3 was designed for high-altitude combat, which was unusual for most Soviet planes at the time, as conflicts on the Eastern Front generally happened at lower altitudes. It wasn't an easy plane to fly, but in the hands of a skilled pilot, it was fatal. The MiG-3 could reach speeds of up to 398 miles per hour, and while it struggled at lower altitudes, it was unmatched in high-altitude combat, where it could outpace many of its German enemies. This airfighter series went on to become one of the most famous aircraft lines in history and a symbol of Soviet engineering prowess. After the war, the MiG name became known with cutting-edge fighter technology, particularly during the Cold War, with models like the MiG-15 and MiG-21 achieving global fame. The strong, versatile Hurricane and the high-flying, evolving MiG may have come from different worlds, but they both engraved their names into the records of military aviation history. Both aircraft weren't just about firepower, but they represented the engineering brilliance and strategic minds of their respective nations. The North American F-100 Super Sabre was an incredible aircraft, the first U.S. fighter capable of supersonic speeds and level flight. This jet, introduced in the early 1950s, represented a leap into a new era of aviation. Known as the Hun, the F-100 set the stage for modern jet fighters and symbolized America's air superiority during the Cold War. When it comes to speed, this airfighter lived up to its super name. Powered by a Pratt & Whitney J57 turbojet engine, the Super Sabre could reach speeds of up to Mach 1.4 and more than 900 miles per hour at altitude. Its swept wings and streamlined fuselage allowed it to break the sound barrier effortlessly, making it the go-to fighter for the U.S. Air Force when it was introduced in 1954. It was the first of the Century Series jets, a collection of high-performance aircraft that set records and defined aerial combat for the 2 decades. This fighter jet wasn't just about speed. It was also a versatile aircraft, serving as both a fighter and a fighter bomber. Early on, it was designed as a supersonic air superiority jet with a powerful arsenal of 4 20mm M39 cannons and a variety of air-to-air missiles. But as the Vietnam War rose up, the Super Sabre evolved into a ground attack aircraft where it excelled. The jet carried bombs, rockets, and napalm, wreaking havoc on enemy positions with precision strikes. However, what truly sets the F-15 apart from these aircrafts is its mobility. The Eagle was designed to be incredibly mobile, even at high speeds, allowing it to outturn opponents. Its large, swept wings and powerful engines make it capable of tight turns and rapid acceleration. Unlike F-15, the F-100 had a rocky start. Its high-speed, swept-wing design made it prone to tricky handling, particularly during takeoff and landing. This earned this fighter jet a reputation for being a bit fast. Pilots who mastered the Super Sabre, though, found it to be a rewarding and powerful machine. As the Vietnam War escalated, this airfighter proved its worth in combat. The Super Sabre was useful in ground attack operations, attacking enemy forces and providing crucial support to troops on the ground. In fact, this fighter jet was the first U.S. jet to drop bombs in Vietnam, marking the beginning of its extensive service in one of the most challenging air combat environments of the 20th century. By the late 1970s, the F-100 was retired from U.S. service, replaced by newer jets like the F-4 Phantom and F-104. However, its legacy was undeniable. The Super Sabre laid the groundwork for the future of supersonic fighters and proved that speed wasn't just about flying fast, it was also about changing the rules of air warfare altogether. It was a game changer, forever altering the landscape of aerial combat and pushing the limits of what fighter jets could achieve. The Lockheed F-104 Starfighter was no ordinary jet. It has missiles with wings, built for speed and performance at the edge of what was possible. This needle-like fighter was designed in the 1950s by legendary aircraft engineer Clarence Johnson. It was the first aircraft capable of sustained Mach 2 flight, which means it could run at twice the speed of sound. It is known as the missile with a man in it. This airfighter was built for sheer velocity, with its razor-thin fuselage, small, thin wings, and a powerful General Electric J79 engine. The Starfighter could climb like a rocket and fly at incredible speeds. It was designed as an interceptor, meant to get in fast, fire its weapons, and get out before the enemy even knew what hit them. In fact, the plane's maximum speed goes 1,450 miles per hour, a record-breaking number at the time. The Starfighter was both loved and feared by those who flew it. Its impressive speed and cutting-edge performance made it the talk of the aviation world, but it came at a price. This fighter jet's sharp, aerodynamic design had minimal lift, which made it tricky to handle. Those tiny wings, which helped it achieve such high speeds, didn't provide much stability, especially at low speeds. This made this fighter jet known for being difficult to fly, and unfortunately, this led to a high accident rate, particularly in the early years. Despite its reputation as a widowmaker, this fighter jet saw widespread service. It wasn't just an American fighter, it was exported to numerous NATO countries during the Cold War. Germany, Italy, Ukraine, and several others operated fleets of starfighters, and pilots across these countries learned to both respect and fear the machine. For some, it was a symbol of advanced military power. For others, it was a dangerous beast that demanded total precision. Its primary weapon was a 20mm M61 Vulcan autocannon, capable of firing up to 6,000 rounds per minute. It could also carry a variety of air-to-air missiles, including the early AIM-9 Sidewinders. But the plane's strength was its speed. It was an interceptor, designed to hit its target and escape before being drawn into close combat. Despite its challenges, this airfighter played a critical role in advancing jet technology. It set numerous world records, from speed to altitude, and it laid the groundwork for future interceptors. The Starfighter was a pioneer in pushing the boundaries of what a jet could do, paving the way for more advanced fighters in the decades to come. The Starfighter may have had its risks, but it also had a lasting legacy that influenced generations of jet design. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II was a powerhouse that dominated the skies for decades. It was developed in the late 1950s. This twin-engine, supersonic jet became the backbone of U.S. air power during the Cold War. But what made the F-4 truly remarkable was its versatility. It wasn't just a one-role aircraft. It was an interceptor, a fighter bomber, and a reconnaissance plane all wrapped in one package. This airfighter was designed with a simple goal, and that was power. And it delivered. With its two J79 turbojet engines, the F-4 could scream through the skies at over Mach 2.2, and that is more than twice the speed of sound. The engines weren't just fast, they were raw, propelling this nearly 20-ton aircraft to speeds no one expected from a plane of its size. This was a jet that could move. This airfighter was one of the first fighters designed with air-to-air missile combat in mind, packing the AIM-7 Sparrow and AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles for taking down enemy planes. It could also carry up to 18,000 pounds of bombs, rockets, and other weapons for ground attack missions. During the Vietnam War, this airfighter became the go-to fighter for the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. It flew thousands of combat missions, from air superiority operations to devastating bombing runs over North Vietnam. This airfighter could hit targets on the ground with precise accuracy while still engaging enemy aircraft. And despite early struggles with missile reliability, Phantom pilots adapted quickly, turning the aircraft into a fearsome adversary in the skies. But this airfighter's journey wasn't smooth. In its early years, it was criticized for not having an internal gun, and that was an important decision based on the belief that air combat would be fought entirely with missiles. However, pilots often found themselves in close-range battles where missiles weren't effective. To counter this, later versions of the F-4 were equipped with Vulcan cannon, giving it the close combat edge it needed. This adaptability was key to the Phantom's long service life. The General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon was built out of the need for a highly mobile, versatile, and cost-effective aircraft. The F-16 quickly became one of the most successful fighters in military aviation history. Designed in the 1970s as part of the U.S. Air Force's lightweight fighter program, the F-16 was everything its predecessors weren't, as it is fast, agile, and deadly. With over 4,600 built and used by more than 25 nations, it's one of the most widely deployed fighters in the world. This airfighter is an all-purpose fighter, capable of air-to-air combat, ground attack, and even electronic warfare. Its versatility was unmatched. Armed with an M61 Vulcan cannon and able to carry a variety of air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles, this airfighter could strike from any angle and hit with devastating force. It was a multi-role powerhouse, capable of carrying out deep strike missions 1 minute and engaging enemy fighters the next. The pilot sits in a bubble canopy that provides unrivaled visibility, giving them a 360-degree view of the battlefield. This is critical when it comes to operation, because split-second decisions made from the cockpit could mean the difference between life and death. And thanks to its reclined seat, pilots could endure higher G-forces, allowing them to make sharper turns without blacking out. This jet was built around the pilot, designed to be the ultimate machine for controlling the skies. The real magic was in its adaptability. This wasn't a jet that was confined to a single role. It could be customized with various weapons and technologies depending on the mission. From laser-guided bombs to advanced radar systems, this airfighter could be configured to take on any challenge. Over the years, it evolved into an advanced multi-role fighter with improved avionics, radar, and weaponry, keeping it relevant even as more modern jets entered service. In combat, this airfighter has seen action in virtually every major conflict since the 1980s. From the Gulf War to the Balkans, from Afghanistan to Iraq, it has proven itself time and again. Pilots love it for its agility, power, and reliability. It's a jet that can go toe-to-toe with any weapon and come out on top. It redefined what a fighter could do, blending speed, agility, and firepower into one extraordinary package. The F-15 Eagle has continued to evolve with various upgrades that ensure its place as a fighter jet for decades to come. The recent aircraft is particularly known for its advanced systems, such as the Legion Pod, which enhances its ability to detect stealth targets using infrared search and track technology. This feature helps counter low-observable aircraft like the F-35. Furthermore, the F-15 has allowed it to incorporate new avionics and electronic warfare suites, ensuring that the aircraft remains highly adaptable to modern warfare environments. One of the reasons this fighter jet has remained more relevant than other aircraft for so long is its structural durability. The airframe has been designed to endure high-stress environments, with many of the original F-15s still in service after decades of operation. This fighter jet's ability to integrate new technologies and undergo upgrades has extended its operational lifespan significantly. The plan to keep the F-15 in service, with ongoing production of new developments ensuring that the Eagle continues to play a vital role in maintaining air superiority. From its inception in the 1970s to its modern-day variants like the F-15EX, the Eagle has consistently proven its worth in the skies. Its unmatched combat record, advanced avionics, and ability to adapt to new technologies have made it one of the most respected and feared aircraft in history. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link appearing on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.